True wireless stereo earbuds with ANC? Let's check these out. Dave Taylor here, and I'm checking out these. Well, let me pull one out. These are the DIGDIY ANC TWS or True Wireless Stereo earphones, and they're pretty nice. As you can see, they look a whole lot like the Apple AirPods, but there are a couple of significant design differences. One of which is that the earbud itself is much more square and actually has printing on it, and the case is thicker. So the both of those immediately jump out as being different. Now, let me tell you a little bit about them and then we'll talk about the sound. They feature Bluetooth 5.2 and they have two active noise canceling microphones on each earpiece. So that means that when you're listening, if you turn on ANC, you'll actually have 4 microphones working on balancing out all the sound and canceling out the background ambient noise. Now, I want to warn you, it's not a lot of ANC. So I found that it definitely lowers background noise, and it's, significantly, but it's not like some of the really high-end ANC devices. But frankly, those can cost 2, 3, 4, even 10 times as much as these. So, that's something to consider. For what they do, these are really, really good for like a cafe or working at home or working in an office, or if you're at school, at the library, and you just want to like lower that background hums and whirs and all of that. These work fine. They say they're 28 decibels canceling. So if you do a lot of homework, you can see some companies actually tell you how much their ANC does. So appreciate that they do that. And they have a transparency mode. In fact, there's lots of touch controls. So the touch control, the back of each unit has a touch control area. And as you can see here, for music, you have one set of touch controls. When you're on a phone call, you have another set of touch controls. And then for ANC, you push and hold for a couple of seconds, and it goes beep, beep, which means you're in transparency mode. Or, you might guess this, a single beep means you're back in ANC mode. By default, they aren't in ANC, and that's because these sort of devices consume a lot more battery when they're in ANC mode. So when we talk about battery life, I will tell you that that's without ANC. So they do work in mono mode, so I can do this and I could listen to my music while I'm charging the other earbud as needed. I can put them both in and they will, as you would hope, they'll charge while they're in the case, and the front of the case has an LED light that shows you what charge level it's at. You need to charge them? Well, there's USB-C in the bottom and a little tiny, like the world's shortest USB-C cable, but it also works with wireless charging. So I have this OtterBox wireless Qi charging pad, and I will tell you it's a little tricky to get the placement right. I had to try a couple of different Qi charging pads before I figured out that the charging is sort of in the lower left corner. So if that's what you center, then it will do wireless charging. Initially, I was like, I don't think it actually does that. So take the earbuds out and you're going to get 10 hours of playback without ANC. ANC is going to take about 10 to 20% off of that. So if you don't need it, don't use it. They'll last longer. Or 10 hours is a long time, maybe listen for 5 hours and then put them back in the case for a little bit. The case will give you 3 more charges, so that gives you a total of 40 hours of listening time, which is pretty nice. And here's what's nice, is that these are IPX8 waterproof. Now, you can't really wear them while you're swimming, but, and I wouldn't wear them while I was in the shower, but if you happen to be wearing them and someone does the ice bucket or super cold bucket of water challenge on your head, they're not going to be hurt, which of course also means that if you're really sweaty during a workout or if you're actually out walking and it starts to rain, you don't have to worry about these getting messed up. Now, another nice thing is they come with 3 different sizes of ear tips. As with all of these devices that go in your ear canals, take the time to test out different size ear tips because you really want to get a good seal. That will make a significant difference. And in particular, it makes a big difference with the ANC. If you have the wrong size ear tips, you're going to be like, that ANC accomplishes nothing, because you really need it to seal well. So there's three things I like to talk about with these devices. The first one is latency. And if you want to watch a video or something on your phone, then you're in good shape. There's no issue with latency, which means that the mouths will be in sync with the dialogue. It's really annoying when that isn't the case. The second thing is for phone calls, they actually work really pretty darn well. I was surprised. So the person on the other end, you'll hear with remarkable clarity. They're going to sound really good. And you're talking, you're going to be a little bit soft. So you might have to up your volume just a little bit, but it's very clear. And part of that is because they have those multiple microphones catching the audio, and then they're doing some processing to make it sound good. So volume's a little bit low, but the audio quality is really good. Then the third thing to talk about, of course, is the audio sound itself. Now, let me first off show you that they're pretty easy to work with. The right side goes into your right ear, and the left side, you can guess this, goes into your left ear. And by the time you put them in your ears, they're paired. And so here, I am ready to go. So if I want to listen to some Kate Bush, I'm listening to Kate, and she sounds good. Now, let me pause this because otherwise I'm going to listen to Kate and I'm not going to talk to you. So that's not going to be helpful. So actually, first off, let me show you a quick close-up of here's how it fits in your ear. And as with all of these sort of devices, you want to have it pointing sort of roughly towards your mouth. And you can turn them a little bit to get a good fit. That's probably a good idea. And the sound's good. It's not blow you away amazing. And I found that I had to turn up my iPhone to almost full volume. They aren't AAC, they aren't aptX, but they sound good. There is bass, there is treble, there is some level of soundstage and presence, but it's not big. It's not something where you're gonna say, dang, wow, this music sounds great. But then again, for most people, that's probably not that big a deal. And number one, people just tend to compensate by turning the volume up a little more, which you can do. And you can also explore your EQ settings on your device too. I had mine set to bass boost, and that helped. It was not an amazing difference, but it helps. The other thing is that it's also a price point issue, right? If you really want amazing audio reproduction, then you're gonna pay for it. I mean, I have $1,000 earbuds and they sound unbelievably great. Way better than these, but that's $1,000 for a pair of earbuds. That's kind of whack. So these are super, super less expensive than that. So I'm going to give these like a B+ for their sound quality because they do sound good. You will enjoy them, but there's a richness and a lushness to most music that these just aren't reproducing, which is just sort of the nature of the beast. So really, the last thing to talk about is the price. And before we get to the price, I'm going to ask, if you don't mind, go ahead and click on that subscribe button or tap on it, depending on what device you're on. And you can subscribe to my channel. Really appreciate when you subscribe. Great, thank you. All right, these are the DIGDIY, and actually I have no idea if I'm pronouncing the company name right. We'll call it the DIGDIY ANC TWS earphones, and they are $69.99 at Amazon.com. And $69 for ANC earbuds is a pretty solid deal, especially with 40 hours of battery life. And because they're Bluetooth 5.2, you're not going to have any issues with like one dropping out and then one working and one not working or anything like that. So pretty solid experience, lots of range, good sound, good phone calls, okay ANC. This is an entry-level budget device, and as such, it's actually pretty sweet. So definitely worth checking out, and I would say that's all I got. I am, in fact, sorry, I know we could talk for hours, but I'm going back to Kate, so I will catch you in my next video.